I don't cry very often. I was raised in a military family, and I was taught not really to show any of my emotions. So it really takes something special to bring a tear to my eye, and I've got to say, this game did just that. Whenever I started it up and I heard the music and everything, I got like shivers and chills, and it was kind of uncontrollable. And whenever the introduction started and I heard all the voice acting and I saw the scenes and everything, there was tears coming from my eyes. I was kind of shocked. I just cannot explain to y'all how much these games have changed my life. I've loved them ever since I can remember, and they are like the two games that have made me the person that I am today. I've got to say, without Dragon Quest, there would not be a David Vink YouTube channel. I probably wouldn't have gotten into RPGs or Final Fantasy, and I probably wouldn't even play video games at all. That there is just how impactful the Dragon Quest games have been to me. They were everything to me. They were my escape from a really horrible childhood. So today, I want to tell you all about them and share my joy with this experience, because seeing my childhood favorite games redone in this way is nothing short of monumental to me. And for the past couple of weeks, I have been hooked. I have not been able to put them down. And if you love Dragon Quest as much as I do, please be sure to leave a sub, because I have so many more videos that I want to put out for the series and for these games. I just love them so much, and thank you so much for your sub, your like, and your brand new hype, because it does help me out a ton, because I really just want to express my love for RPGs and Dragon Quest to the world. I've got to say first, if you played Dragon Quest back on the NES, 40 something years ago, this here is a whole new experience entirely. Even if you played the remake versions on the SNES, Game Boy Color, mobile, or Switch, I can just guarantee you that this thing blows those out of the water. Whereas Dragon Quest III HD-2D Remake was pretty much, for the most part, like they took a great game and they made it even better, Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD-2D Remake took two... well, I'm just gonna say it. They took two short, mediocre, and even black sheep Dragon Quest games and turned them into something absolutely incredible! Yeah, all the bones are still there, but I am telling you, this is a whole new game. And not just because, you get a new character in the Princess of Cannock. That is a tiny, teeny-weeny tiny thing in comparison to everything else that they changed. Your heroes actually have personalities. They speak. The Prince of Middenhall is made fun of because, what kind of hero can't cast magic? The Prince of Cannock is made fun of because he's kind of a flake. The Princess of Moonbrook is deeply damaged, and she's hell-bent on getting revenge against Hargon. And the Princess of Cannock, she's young, and she just kind of likes to joke around and bring some levity to all the situations. I really felt like I was getting to know the actual characters here, and everything else is also just so much more expanded upon. Remember how you would go to Alefgard, and it was just Tangatil and Charlotte Castle, and that was it? Not anymore. Every single town from the original game is there. The dungeons are all there too, including brand new dungeons. And there are new scenarios in each of these towns as well. Just one example is a place like Sahan. You used to just kind of go there to grab the golden key. But now, it has an entire storyline about a lost fisherman and mermaids. There really used to be no story whatsoever in places like Welgarth. But now, they're hiding underground. They're refugees from Renderok, formerly known as Rhone, who fled their castle after it was attacked by Hargon, and they decided to build an underground town to escape all the monsters. And these here are just little bits and pieces of what the game has to offer. And I'm telling y'all, I am barely scratching the surface here. There is just so much more new content, and it's incredible. I mean, your ship can even go underwater, and you have an entire ocean floor to explore too. There is so much stuff added here, y'all. It is crazy. Not only that, but you can play the game any way that you want to, with 3 different difficulty modes available, as well as the ability to turn on invincibility, being able to turn on or off objective markers, and the minimap. I mean, you can make this as old school or as new school as you want it to be. Also, the tactics are there to make battling a breeze too. This is not some sort of slog. This is a grandiose, world-spanning adventure. Those kind of RPGs that I just love. The ones with the world map. The ones that give you a ship, and they just say, hey, go on out and explore. Look around the world. See what you can find. The ones that don't just hold your hand constantly and also treat you like an idiot. The ones that don't keep you trapped in a high school or have some sort of slice of life thing. Instead, This is a game that lets you loose on an epic adventure across the entire world. I love that. Just as in the Dragon Quest III Remake, there are still sparkles on the world map that give you additional items, and there are still secret areas to scout out too. Every single town is just packed with content, with all sorts of secrets to find, NPCs who will, actually have interesting stuff to say that actually matters. I'm kind of hard-pressed, really, to think of any modern game that came out recently where speaking to an NPC is actually necessary. But here it really is, if you want to know what's going on in the world or where things are. If you've played these games before, and you think that they're just like one big, long grind, that's no longer the case. Yeah, the encounter rate is still as high as you remember it, but there are ways to mitigate that, such as the Princess of Moonbrook's Holy Protection spell. And also, monsters give it a whole lot more experience and gold, and the battles just move at a super fast clip. Each party member has been completely rebalanced to be actually useful. The Prince of Cannock no longer identifies as a coffin, and the Prince of Middenhall no longer just attacks. Everybody's spell list has been rebalanced, and all abilities has been added in too. So the Prince of Middenhall can do a lot more stuff than just kind of like attacking, and the Prince of Moonbrook, because she was, once a dog, can dig in the ground, and she can also smell for treasure. I love that. Scrolls have also been added, which are one-time use items that teach a party member a spell or an ability, though not everybody can use every scroll, and this allows you to customize your characters in a way that was not possible in the original games. It's super neat. Then another nice thing is that all your weaknesses are clearly shown on the screen. When a monster is weak to ability, it'll kind of flash on the list, so you can see it there at a glance, and then it will tell you if they're weak to it, or if they resist it, or whatever, whenever you do target them. Not only that, but they really made assigning tactics right. Remember in Star Ocean 2, where you could turn on or off spells that you didn't want to use? If you wanted to make sure that Reyna had enough MP to heal your team, you would turn off POW Hammer so she wouldn't spam it all the time. Well, you could do the same thing here. If you want a party member to only use healing spells and not their attacking spells, you can turn off all their attacking spells or turn off all their buffs or whatever. I thought that this was genius, because I hate whenever I want my character to fight wisely, and what I really mean for them to do to fight wisely is to kind of attack and heal, and they're over there instead casting Surround instead of just killing the guy. It pisses me off. Another really cool thing that kind of ties the whole trilogy together is a little thing like the Vase of Drought. That wasn't in Dragon Quest 1 or 2, it was introduced in Dragon Quest 3, but now they've kind of retroactively added in the Vase of Drought into this game. I love all the references and the throwbacks that they put in. It is so thoughtfully well done. But now, it would not be a review of mine if I didn't have some sort of negative or criticism. And that, in this case, comes in regard to the Prince of Middenhall. Of course, he is a silent protagonist, and it really just sucks that they went and they gave such great personalities to all the other party members, and he's just kind of like a wall. He's like Squall from Final Fantasy VIII. He has nothing to say. He has no personality whatsoever. And yeah, I know that it's Dragon Quest, and I know that that's just kind of what they do, but it's just so glaring here when everybody else is talking and chatting and goofing around, and he's just kind of standing there like some sort of weird mannequin. I just wish that they gave him the same treatment that they gave all the other party members. It would have done something to kind of set Dragon Quest II apart from the rest of the series, because honestly, we all know deep down that Dragon Quest II is a little special game, and it's different from the rest of the Dragon Quests anyway. But that's really my only criticism that I have to say, because everything else is absolutely fantastic. I really do believe that Dragon Quest II just by itself would be worth $60, but you also get Dragon Quest I along with it in the bargain. This is the deal of the century, y'all. And if you love Dragon Quest, or old school RPGs, or Final Fantasy, or you're just looking for a fantastic timeless RPG and to see where the genre really all began, then this game is for you. I just cannot recommend it highly enough. It is absolutely fantastic. So that's it for my review of the games. Thank you all so much for watching, and let me know in the comments what you think about the games, what you think about all the differences and the changes, and also what you're most excited about. I always love to hear from y'all. Please be sure to leave a like and a hype and a sub, because it always helps me out a ton. And have a great day.